Well, congratulations, Patricia. You did it. You persevered. You made it through and graduated with your Master of Arts in Biblical Studies. How does it feel?
It really feels great. I have a master's from 1985, but my dream was to be able to study the Bible,
Hmm.
which is, it's more of something I want to do for personal reasons. And so it feels great to have that basis of knowledge behind me and underneath me.
So you already had a master's degree. Is
It,
this something? What subject did you study before?
Science. So I
Okay.
have two degrees in science. Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
And what was the experience like as far as going through the redemption courses compared to your other educational experiences? Was it a different approach, or was it?
Very different, very different. And what's interesting is since high school, it seems like I didn't, by no intention on my own, but I was always ended up in these um, new models of education. It started in high school with the last year of high school, but then I went to a college like that in New York. I went to SUNY, which is pretty famous
Mhm.
university. And so I was in a very different model of education there too for science. In fact, my degree is in psychology, but they considered it a natural science. So we study a lot of psychobiology, that sort of thing. But um, then coming fast forward to Redemption, I really appreciate Redemption's model because of this background in education as well. There's really there's a lot to say about really chewing on the word of God, instead of just memorizing a lot of stuff, answering a bunch of questions on a test and ticking that off. You really need to ponder it and ponder it again. And that is what I think redemption style of education lends itself to. So I had amazing mentors, a lot of amazing discussions, really really made me think about the word of God differently. And I surely do to this day because of my time at Redemption.
Wonderful. We're so proud of you as one of the first graduates of our program. We had 6 graduates in the first year, and you were right there in that vanguard group. So well
Wow.
done. Was there anything, as you think back to when you applied and got started, did you have any fears about seminary before you began?
Well, I think a lot of people would. For me, I felt a lot of confidence. I at first, when I first actually sat down and had to go through learning logos, and that was all new to me because I didn't know the
Mhm.
software. And yeah, I was excited though. It's sort of like it's a good nervousness. You feel kind of like anticipation. So it was a happy thing for me.
Good. And were there any particular courses that were especially rewarding for you? Do any of the courses stand out that you really enjoyed?
Wow, all of them are so important and so amazing. But what has really been stood out to me, I think it's almost subconsciously, is church history.
Hmm.
And I always would say all my years that you don't really know history until you know church history
Hmm.
and really know church history. So I felt a real, just another shift. My mother was a historian, and so this kind of comes naturally to me. But I really felt another big shift in my thinking about the way we do church, about what church is, about how we relate to one another, how we relate to interpretation and doctrine. You really always have to hold everything lightly, and a lot of us like to hold on to our sacred cows, and you just can't do that. And I think to broaden your mind and to take it all in and to learn others points of view, especially because you're working with an international student body.
Mhm.
So there are people from Africa, Asia, everywhere, and it kind of gets you out of your theological box, which I think we could all use a little bit of that. So it's, yeah, that's what I would say is probably my answer. Church history. I had an incredible experience with Dr. Ed Cook, and he was amazing for me because he wouldn't just stop at the hour or stop at the half hour. He would just keep going with me. We would just keep talking, and he just rocked my world and loved it. And I would say to him, Dr. Cook, I feel so bad you're spending so much time with me. He said, you know what? I really enjoy our conversation. So he was just really enjoying it, but he was pouring into me. And largely my next step of going to get my doctorate of ministry instead of maybe a PhD or any other program was largely due to his influence,
Mm.
because that was a choice he made. He was telling me his experiences. Those sort of interactions are invaluable. And, everybody knows that it is a student's dream to have time like that with a mentor. And it's just hard to come by in your standard university model. It's just very hard to come by. And you just hope you get an experience like that. But I was able to have it with Redemption. So I would really just say, that's the way to go. I think if you expand anything, expand that.
Wonderful. I'm glad to hear that you benefited from that. That is a unique thing in our approach, is getting that one-on-one time with the professors, and it stands out because even those open office hours you might get at another seminary, all of our mentors, they care, they enjoy it, they do it because they love it, they love connecting with
Mm,
students, and so I'm glad
yeah.
to hear that that was a good aspect of your experience, and we will double down on that and keep it going.
There's just so much to Redemption, and I really urge anybody who is a little computer phobic to not let them stop that,
Mm.
because you get credit for your first course and they're going to walk you right through it. So don't be a worried about that. But I would say you need to learn logos. You need to catch up with the times. Don't fall behind, and don't say, well, I still want to use my old, concordance. You want to get online. You want to interact and become part of what God is doing today, because God does new things. And so it's sometimes hard for those of us, like I'm 65 now. So it was a real, um, wow, I'll be turning 65 in I think a week. So it's a real turning point in life, whether you want to say that or not, it doesn't change it. So, I think that we want to remember that God has seasons in life, and you can stay behind, get left behind, or you can move with what the Lord's doing. This is the up and coming for education, and I think that is a really good thing, because we need a more flexible model. We need for people, like right now, I would not be able to say I've got this degree that I'm so excited about, or this master's, because I live out in the country now. My husband is retired, and who could have done this? I could not have made this happen if I had to attend a university campus every day.
Right.
But this opened up that opportunity. Plus, it does that for all the student bodies. So you are exchanging and interacting and relating to a huge student body. And also, I gotta say, the price is right. So, I mean, where else? I mean, that's a big reason why people don't go forward, is it's just affordability nowadays. But that's just not an issue anymore with this new model. What really prompted me to attend, and maybe this will resonate with somebody else, is that I teach a Bible study outside of my career, and I have for years. And now I feel like I need to have that credential underneath me. I really feel like in today's day and time, and everything we have going on globally, and all the, you know, how can I say, the input that we're getting theologically, or is this good theology or is it not? Well, this is what Redemption will give you, and you'll have a much stronger stand when you're teaching, and a much leveler place to stand when you teach, so that you can teach to reach a broader base of students. And that's the Bible fellowship I teach. It's a parachurch, so I get people from all churches,
Yeah.
and it lends to wonderful discussion. And I think that's, at the end of the day, that's what you want to see, that what you're doing at Redemption is right there interacting with what the Lord has called you to do. And he has called me to teach my family. I come from a long line of teachers in my family, so it's kind of natural for me.
Mhm.
And whatever God has called you to do, you want to make sure that your understanding matches that place. So that's where I feel like I was really gifted. I mean, given a gift
Mhm.
by attending Redemption.
That's exciting to hear the way you're using it in your own context, leading Bible studies. applying what you've learned. And it's been an honor for us to come alongside you in that journey. And we're excited to see how the Lord will work through you in the next stage that you're going into, furthering your education, continue to serve where you are there.